Let me ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. When your partner says something that hits a nerve, when your friend doesn't text you back, when the lady in front of you at the checkout is obnoxious and slow, what's your first move? Do you automatically point a finger and start the blame game? Same. But that one habit, it's keeping you stuck and small. And most don't even realize that we are actually choosing to play the victim in our own lives. Hey, I'm Coach Jen. I'm like your best friend who tells you the truth, with love, always. And today we're talking about something that will absolutely change how you experience your life: victim mentality versus vulnerability. And listen, this one might sting a little, but it's the kind of sting that sets you free. Let's get real for a second. Victim mentality is when your brain runs this quiet little script. Life is happening to me. I don't have control. Everything sucks and will never change. And I know it feels true, but let me show you what this actually looks like. I had a client mid-50s, successful, smart, the kind of woman who has everything together. She came to me convinced her boss was the problem. He overlooks me. He doesn't respect me. I deserve more. And she did deserve more. But when we dug deeper into the facts, she had never asked for a raise. She wasn't speaking up in meetings, hadn't once told him about her goals or what she actually wanted. That's not a bad boss problem. That's a victim mentality and a completely powerless position. And here's the hard truth. Victim mentality might feel protective, but it slowly drains your confidence, your energy, and your life. It keeps you small, reactive, resentful. And the worst part, it convinces you that you're stuck because everyone else is to blame for your problems. Stay with me, because what we're talking about next, this is the mindset shift that gives you your power back. And most women avoid it their entire lives. Now I want to talk about vulnerability. And no, I do not mean crying in a circle holding hands. Vulnerability is this: choosing to show up as yourself without hiding. That's it. And let me tell you why this matters. I had another client in her early 60s. She had spent decades being the easy one, never rocking the boat, never saying what she actually felt, thinking she didn't deserve to take up space in her marriage, in her friendships, everywhere. And one day she told me, "I don't even know who I am. I feel like I am invisible." That is the cost of avoiding vulnerability. You may never get rejected, but you don't get to be seen either. Now here's the flip side. After working together, that same woman started slowly speaking up at work, with friends, at home. She started asking for what she wanted. She started risking being misunderstood or thought to be silly or needy. And yes, it was uncomfortable. But for the first time in years, she felt alive. She started having a voice and opinions and taking up the space she deserved. That's the difference. Victim mindset protects your tiny comfort zone. Vulnerability gives you your whole life. So now we've got two paths. One keeps you safe and stuck. The other feels scary and sets you free. And the wild part, you are making that choice in your mind every single day. Victim mode says, blame them. Avoid the feelings and any responsibility. Stay guarded. Vulnerability says, feel it. Own it. Stay open. And let me tell you something most people won't say out loud. Being the victim feels safe and comfy, because if it's always someone else's fault, you don't have to look at yourself or change. But that comfort, it costs you everything. And here's another sneaky part. A lot of us don't just play the victim. We also play the villain. We beat ourselves up, tell ourselves we are not enough, and then feel constantly ashamed and defeated. That loop, it's exhausting. Vulnerability breaks that cycle. It says, I'm allowed to feel this, and I'm still responsible for what I do next. That's power. That's freedom. That's where your life actually starts to change. And if you're sitting there thinking, wow, I do this, I overthink, I people please, I hold everything in, I made something for you. It's called 6 Steps to Quieting Your Inner Judge. If you're tired of second guessing yourself and living in your head, Go grab it right now. It's free and it will immediately help you start shifting this pattern. Links in the description. Now let me show you what this actually looks like in real life, because this is where everything starts to change. Not in a journal, but right in the middle of a moment. Picture this. You text a friend something funny or thoughtful, and they don't respond. A few hours go by, then a day, and your brain starts going, she doesn't care. I always show up for people and no one shows up for me. Maybe she is annoyed with me. And just like that, you feel hurt, rejected, a little bitter. That's the automatic response. That's the old victim loop kicking in. Most of us don't even realize a choice just happened. We just believe the story. Maybe we pull back or we get cold. Maybe we stop reaching out altogether. And then what happens? We create the exact disconnection we were afraid of. Self-fulfilling prophecy, anyone? That's how this pattern quietly shapes your entire life. But vulnerability interrupts that moment. It sounds like this. Hey, I noticed I'm telling myself a story right now that she's ignoring me. That's step 1, awareness. Then am I willing to feel uncomfortable instead of shutting down? That's step 2, willingness. And then maybe this is the bold part, you send another message. Hey, I might be overthinking this, but it felt a little off when I didn't hear back. Everything okay? Now listen, sending that message might feel terrifying because you're risking looking needy or not getting the response you want. But you're also doing something powerful. You're showing up honestly. You're choosing connection over self-protection. You're staying open instead of shutting down. And here's what happens over time when you do this. You stop building silent resentment. You stop making assumptions that hurt you. You stop abandoning yourself to avoid discomfort. This is the real shift, not becoming fearless, but becoming willing to feel, willing to be seen, willing to stay open, even when it's uncomfortable. And this right here, this is where most of us realize, I've been living on autopilot, reacting and blaming instead of choosing. We're almost done, but this next part is the piece that changes everything long term. Here's the truth. If I asked you to tell me 2 stories about your life, one showing me that your life is amazing and one that your life is terrible, your brain will find evidence for both. I worked with a woman going through a huge life transition, kids grown, career shifting, everything changing. And she told me, I feel like my best years are behind me. That was her victim story. Same life, different lens. We worked on shifting that narrative to, I finally get to choose who I want to be next. And everything changed. Her energy, her confidence, her decisions. Nothing external changed overnight, but her identity did. That's what vulnerability gives you. Choice, ownership, a future that isn't limited by your past. And listen, this is exactly the work we do inside Master Your Mind. If you're a woman who spent years putting yourself last, overthinking everything, feeling stuck in patterns you can't seem to break, this is where that changes. Not just understanding it, but actually rewiring how you think. If you're ready for that next level, go check it out. Links below. Let me leave you with this. Victim mindset might keep you safe, but it will quietly steal your life. Vulnerability might feel uncomfortable, but it will give you your power back and open you up to an entirely new life. So the question isn't, have hard things happened to you? Of course they have. The question is, who are you going to be because of them? Choose the version of you that serves you. If this hit you, send it to a friend who needs to hear it. And if you're ready for real change, you know where to start. I'll see you in the next one.